Hey there, it is Matthew Larson with 1000X Leads here. If you've never watched one of my videos before, they're all about how to grow an agency, how to grow a B2B business, and that's what I do at 1000X Leads. So this video is going to be more in the behavior change, the mindset type of thing, because I believe there's three things that really are going to determine your success: your behavior, your funnel, and your offer. And those three things aren't necessarily in any order. They're all equally important. But to some extent, if you don't have the right behavior, the right thoughts, the right habits, the right work ethic, the right focus, all that kind of stuff, like, you're not going to be able to make a great offer. You're not going to be able to build a funnel and then operate it. So in some ways, you can't have one or two of these. You have to have all three. But in some ways, behavior change is going to come a little bit first. So one thing that I'm trying out really is 5 of my key objectives for the year 2024, which we are currently in, is to work longer hours, more focused hours too, wake up earlier, track my progress because what gets measured can get improved, push myself past limits, not really just in work, but in many different things, and then put in 10 times the time and effort when creating things. Like if I was creating a video or a webinar or a lead magnet or something, just put a lot more time and effort. And I think that what I'm trying to do here is not just work longer hours, but fall in love with working longer hours. Not just wake up at 5 a.m., but fall in love with waking up at 5 a.m. Don't just track your progress, fall in love with tracking your progress. Every time you put in a metric, it should bring you joy. And that's kind of the idea. So I'm trying to frame it this way, and it's going well so far. I think it's going a lot better than it would doing it just the way I described before, where, okay, I have a goal to wake up at 5 a.m. versus I have a goal to fall in love with waking up at 5 a.m. And one thing that I'm also trying at the same time is to develop thought habits. So let's drag this down here a bit, get that out of the way for now. I just got a few bullet points there. So a thought habit, call it what you want. I'm going to call it a thought habit, but it's anything that you think by default in a certain situation. So if you thought, you're stuck in traffic and you're defaulting to, this is bullshit, your thought habit would be one of rage. That's just a very superficial example. But what I'm trying to do is when I'm in a lot of these situations, like when I'm in the middle of a work hour, because I usually work in timed 60-minute periods where I have an actual timer here. And when my alarm goes off at 4:58 a.m. or when I'm finished a work period or finished something and it's time to track, or when I'm in the gym, for example, and I'm training to build more muscle and stuff like that, but I want to give up, before, true failure. And then when I'm creating anything, like I said before, lead magnets, and, I feel like this is good enough, trying to put in 10 times the effort. So I think it's a very good thing to do. And what I'm trying to do is, instead of, just letting my mind or thoughts run wild, I am intentionally trying to train myself to think certain things in certain situations. So basically, I'm trying to create thought habits, kind of the same way you would think that, or you would create any habit, like unplugging the toaster after you use it, or tying your shoes after you put them on, but with my thoughts. So I think this is a very, very high ROI, high IQ activity, because what I'm going for at least is if I can default to thinking something that essentially guarantees my success in terms of the action in any situation, I should, basically guarantee my success. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. So your thoughts, become your beliefs, and your beliefs become your words, and your actions become your words become your actions, and your actions lead to, more thoughts, and then those become beliefs, then words, then actions, and then I think you get the picture. It's just a cycle until it becomes, so deep, like you hear those sayings, the, chains of habit are, can't be felt until they're too heavy to ever break, or some stuff like that. Google it, I'm not going to go too much into that anymore. But I heard something like that. I thought it was profound. Didn't really do a good job repeating it there. So my hope is that, when I'm doing these things, working long hours, waking up early, tracking progress, all of that stuff, if I can repeat, and then keep repeating, all of these thoughts will be beneficial to me, and then that will change my beliefs. And, use the term beliefs here kind of loosely. It's not like some deep-seated trauma subject, right? Then my beliefs will become my words, and my words will become my actions. Typical cliche stuff, but cliches, that's the dirty little secret about cliches, is a lot of the time they're dead on the money. So one thing that I'm really, because this is like a video journal here, but I'm also trying to convince you to do this too. Because I think that you'll either do this consciously or unconsciously, or intentionally or unintentionally. And if you leave things to chance, you are going to, that is a big risk, so to speak. If you do it intentionally, you can design yourself to think anything you want. And let's get into the actual good stuff, because, this is kind of theoretical at this point, but I'm trying to make it useful. So let's take all of my stuff here. So let's put it here. Working long hours, waking up early, tracking progress, pushing self past limits. So in this case, I'm going to go in the gym, just because that could mean a lot of things, and we'll get a specific example. And then the last one is 10 times the time and effort. So let's go an example of what I'm actually trying to do for each. And I have like a written list that I've done this and I printed out, and that's what I'm trying out. So working long hours. So basically what this means is, I'm trying to do, I started at 5 hours per day of work, 60-minute timer, because a lot of people overestimate how much work they actually do. So my opinion, the only way to know for sure is if you track it. I've always done that for a very long time. But there's times like a very common situation, or the situation I am doing this for is when I set a 60-minute timer of focused work, and I look at the timer and it has 40 minutes left, for example. And the old Matthew, or someone, maybe you watching this video, if you do this too, or you want to try it, oh my God, this sucks, 40 minutes left. So what I do is something that I think two things to myself, two thought habits. One is, all weight is lightweight. That's a Ronnie Coleman reference in the gym. All weight is lightweight. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but, this is easy work, basically, is what I'm trying to convince myself. And then the second one is, once you get to a certain level of business, everybody is just as smart as you, prioritizes just as well, but they also work 12 to 16 hours per day, 6 or 7 days per week. You will get smoked without this. And it's kind of a long thought habit, but this is what I'm telling about. I'm training myself to literally sit there and just keep doing it. And then once it's over, take a 5, 10, 15-minute break and then do it again. And that's it. So I have these written down on a piece of paper, and I actually practice repeating this to myself when I'm doing it. And I don't want to kind of go super how would you say, exaggeration here, but it's really, really helped. It's kind of been a good transformation for me. The next one is the situation here is, it is 4:58 or 4:57 p.m. and my alarm goes off. Previously, and then we'll put most people would think something like, ugh, already, or something like this. It's already time to wake up. But what I'm trying to install in my own brain here is I am so happy and grateful that sleeping is now over and I can get up and work. And this, again, I don't want to be exaggeration type here, but this has just completely changed the game for me in waking up early. Instead of, oh my God, this sucks, I want to go back to bed, I'm so grateful that sleeping is finally over. I know I have to do it 8 hours a day, but I'm so happy that I can finally get up. Just something as simple as this has, maybe 5x'd how easy it is to wake up early. For the tracking progress, the situation is when I am doing my 60-minute work periods or posts, or basically quantifying, counting how many inputs, videos, posts, newsletters, cold emails sent, ad creatives made, etc. That I think this thought habit to myself, what gets measured can be improved, because it's very important, because not only is that true, but again, unless you're actually tracking your inputs, it's hard to know what is actually happening. It's very easy for all days to blend together, to get lost, and what gets measured actually does get improved. If you don't know what you're even doing, it's not going to get improved. It's not top of mind. It's not a priority. So I always think this, at the end of the day, specifically at the end of the day, I fill out a form about what I did, and that form automatically populates the stuff in a spreadsheet. Very, very important, and it's made tracking a lot easier too. So in the gym, the specific scenario I have in mind is when I am in the middle of a set, and it doesn't matter what it is, just typical, very standard exercises, and I want to stop or think to myself, I've given all I got. I think two things. The first is, okay, now do 5 more. And that is something that I saw on what's his name? Tom Platz, who's a bodybuilder back in the day. It's like a dead stupid simple technique, but it really works. Okay, that's the end of your set. Just do 5 more now. And it works very well. The second one is you will get more out of the last rep than all the other reps combined. And that one, this one is for let's say I'm trying to do 10 reps of whatever, and I get to there. If you can get to there, that's not really failure. So now do 5 more, for example. And this is one where, maybe I'm doing 10 reps and I'm at number 8 or 9, and then I just want to do 1 or 2 more. You're going to get more out of that last rep than all the other reps combined. And this has really transformed my workout since I started, which hasn't been that long, but it's been, I probably did 8-9 workouts since I started this, and it's basically doubled them. For the last one here, and this will wrap up the video, the specific situation here is anytime I am creating something like a lead magnet where, I'm going to run ads to it, I'm going to put it in my content, thousands of people are going to download it. The thing I think to myself is 10 times the effort for 1,000 times the result. And this is very true. If you spent 10 times as much time putting in a lead magnet, you're going to get way more clients than, obviously. But it's not going to be 10 times more clients. It's going to be 20 times, 50 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. And it's not really an exaggeration at all. It's something you got to experience. But I hope this video is helpful. This is, you can teach, and what we do in 1000x Leads, we teach you to build a funnel and help you with your offer. But unless you go through this behavior change, like that's going to be your bottleneck or your constraint. And this is the kind of stuff that will really stop you from growing your business. So I'm going to make more videos like this on basically whatever I think is valuable. So if you like this, let me know in the comments and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.